Hello and welcome to a very different video. First of all, I just want to say I got myself a bit of an upgrade. Oh dear, how do I best? There we go. I have a new chair. It's so nice. It's so comfy. I love it. But yeah, it's a bit of a different video. I don't really have a game per se to show you, but I want to show you why I've not really uploaded any new gameplay videos in quite a while. It's because lately, pretty much all my free time is going to this. And this, if you don't know what this is a coding tool or an IDE where I basically am building a web-based game. Now, I don't really know how to code. I can write some basic SQL and some PowerShell and stuff like that. But AI coding has gotten quite far. So, here is how this works. I write with the AI in this. This is using something called Windsurf. I'm writing with the AI in this window here. It's like a chat log, and currently I am trying to fix some bugs. And let's see, accept all changes. Currently, we can see here this is underlined as an error. Now, I could read through this. I could look for the quick fix. I could view the problem, read up on it, or I could just say Windsurf, explain and fix problem, please. So we'll look through this. This is the original bug message. And yeah, it looks through the file, it finds a fix, suggests a fix, I can accept it. And once it's accepted, it should be ready to go. It adds some more context, explains it all. I could read that. Right now we're not going to do that. We're going to run this command because it's recommending us to do that. So that we get the, yeah, it's something we probably need to do. Now, I could run this myself. It would be slightly faster, but, you know, it's fine. Yeah, and this is why I haven't been playing much games. The very little free time that I have usually goes to spending an hour or so on this. So my lunch hours haven't gone to gaming, and to any publisher out there that I have said, yeah, I'm gonna cover your content. I promise. I'm sorry it's taking a while. I mean, we have coverage of Aura, a really cool 4X game from Microsoft that I'm playing a bit currently. Also have new Barbie game. My kids have been playing that a little bit. Not as much as I want them to, but a fair bit. And yeah, then there's some indie games that I got access to as well. I'm gonna get to them. I'm sorry it's taking longer than I initially thought. And I know that some people here are waiting for some content on Boosteroid, which I also really want to get to. I just only have so many hours, and right now this is going pretty well, and I'm really hyped about this. So I'm kind of just delving deeper into this coding thing, and I'll show you in a little bit what this all looks like once it's actually like how far I've gotten. And keep in mind, I have not done any coding on this myself. This is purely writing prompts to the AI, explaining what I want, how I want it to work. And obviously you need to understand a lot of these things. Like I've had to learn how Firebase works. I've had to learn how I already know how a lot of these coding tools work. I just can't use them myself. So you have to kind of tell the AI quite specifically what you want. You have to be like, hey, when I click this button, I want this to happen in this way. Use this part of the database. That's kind of how I approach it. This is not going to take over from this. If you're a developer today, this might help you, but it's not going to replace you. But it is some enabling me who don't know how to do this to actually get it done. Surprising amount of this done. Right, I think we should be able to push this latest build. So first we're gonna build it, and this is also this took me 2 weeks of troubleshooting. Why doesn't my changes show up? Oh, I need to build my release before I release it. I didn't know that. Now I do. So we build it. Hold on, I had turned off my mic. So there we go. Yeah. So it's still building. It's going to take a while. Then we have to deploy it, which is a lot faster, but it also takes maybe a minute. But while we wait for that, I'm going to talk a bit about what I'm building, why I decided to build what I'm building, and maybe show you how it works, hopefully, when it's all deployed. So basically, I wanted to try out, is it possible now with these advancements in AI to, as someone who understands tech and code but don't do it themselves, but I use this to use AI as my programmer and guide it through what I want built, sort of like outsourcing it. And for that, I decided, I want to build something, but I want to build something easy. I want to really challenge it. I want to build something that I'm passionate about, that I really want, like that I think would be cool and that I actually would personally use. So I kind of thought, I'm a gamer, so that would be games. But I don't want to build build my own game engine. I don't want to have to deal with an existing game engine, because that's another thing that I want to learn at some point, but not right now. And I felt like, what's a use? Since I'm going to use AI anyway, what's a use of AI that's only really possible? What's the kind of game that you can make that's only possible if you have AI at your disposal? And I kind of landed on a text-based RPG. So this is a game where you create your character. You can either create it yourself or get assistance from the AI. You will then play in a world that I designed. It's actually a world that I initially designed in my teens. I found an old first chapter of a novel I wrote as a teenager. I was like, it's not great, but it's not bad. There's something here. There's a kind of an interesting world that I apparently designed when I was a teenager. Drew up a new map because I couldn't find the old one, and kind of set the storyline of the game in there. And here's the thing. There is a storyline-ish. There is a storyline that the AI has knowledge about, that AI can bring into the game. But what you're essentially doing is you create your own character, or use the AI to get to help you create it. You're set into this world, text-based RPG, where you will have the AI, a Gemini-based AI, as your DM, essentially. So you'll be able to play a role-playing game, like a tabletop RPG. You will write to the AI what you want to do, what you say, what you think, or rather what the character does, thinks, or says, and it will be your dungeon master, essentially. Meaning you have full, complete freedom. This world itself is like, there's a baseline of the world that's defined that the AI will be told about, but the world itself, and the storyline, it's like there is some sort of things brewing in the background. But you can interact with it or you cannot. The AI will kind of take you from there. So your story will be unique. Your story, you can interact with the story that I created, so to speak, initially. Like the seeds are there, you can play with those, or you can just ignore them and go out your own way, create your own adventures in this world. And then I decided, because I wanted to add some more complexity to it, and add at least an ounce of something that I at least know a little bit about, which is databases. And even then, I'm nowhere near an expert. So yeah, we have a shared database. Currently, it's not really working, but that's for another day. But yeah, we have a shared database where you can, while this is building, let's just get something more fun on the screen for you guys. Swapperoo. I can fail with that. Here we go. So this is the main menu. And this is the world map in the background there. Where was that? Right. You're making your character. You're set into the world. You can make your own decisions. We have a shared database. So if you create a character, you go into this. You say you find a nearby village. The AI will name that village for you. It's probably not even going to be on the map. The AI will then remember this village, put it in the database, and also add some coordinates, because I have a basic coordinate system where like the capital of the world is the 00 coordinates, and then you have everything. So the city of Denver up here would be something like 10,000 minus 2,000, maybe, something like that. So like this village here would have some of the coordinates, and if it decides this village here is called this, it's on these coordinates. If another player goes in this area, finds and looks for a village, finds a village, they'll find the same village, same name, and the things that you did might affect their gameplay as well. It's a single-player game, but with a shared world, with a shared history and log of events. We log all events with a time and date. So if you go to this village and you burn it down on day 3 of your adventure, everyone starts at the same date, and then someone else goes there 5 days later, they will find a village that's burned down. Or they go there 2 days ahead, and then as they are there, and then someone turns up and tries setting the whole thing on fire, at which point they get a decision to try to intervene and react to that. Creating sort of a living world where it's like semi-multiplayer, but not really. I think it could be an interesting thing. And the reason I landed on this was that I was thinking, what's a kind of game that is ambitious for me to do, but still not outside the realm of possibility, that would never be possible without AI. That's something that you can only do. Like, since I'm doing it with AI and like I wanted to integrate AI into it, what's a game that you couldn't do without large language model AI? And this is what I landed on. An RPG where you have full creative control of what you want to do. You can do anything, and the game will react accordingly. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's taking a very long time building today. Maybe it's because I have OBS running at the same time. Usually it takes like 2 minutes. But yeah. Oh, yeah, something's happening. Oh, bring it up. Almost done. So once it's deployed, I want to show you. We're going to take a look at it. And then once we've taken a look at it, we're going to go back into the editor. Again, I'm going to show you how I add more features. Change things around. But we'll do one thing at a time. I think I'll pause the recording. Right, the build is done. We'll now deploy by running the command firebase deploy. And with that, we have deployed our new build. So we're going to go back into the game. I'm going to do a hard refresh and see if it all works. You never know. Initial loading screen. I don't know why we have two of them. There's another one that wasn't showing even this time because we loaded before it. I've logged in, and yeah, there should be a login using Google. That isn't working. But if you just write your email address and a password, you'll be able to log in using that, and we'll see if this works. We can take a look at the settings first. We have a dark mode and a light mode. We'll stick with dark mode for now. These don't do nothing. They don't really work. There is an option to set your own API key for Gemini. So if for some reason you get some error that the AI API key doesn't work, you can go to aistudio.google.com, create your own API key, and enter it here. That should work. Very much a work in progress. So yeah, we click new game, and here we can create our character. So first we have this class selection. Might be that the fix it and take. Then we have you can pick which social class you belong to. You can write your name, or you can click this to generate one. So yeah, let's go with a peasant. Generate a name. We'll call Eric. Sure. We'll click on name and description. We have 3 different attributes in this game. You have brains, brawn, and balance. Now, these are like stats. Brains, obviously, anything mental. Brawn is strength or constitution, things like that, and then anything physical. And then balance is like dexterity and how nimble you are. You can alter these at any point you want. There's a minimum of 1 in each point. There's a maximum of 10 in each. You can re-roll it and get between, I think the lowest is 9, no, 8, yeah, 9, and or maybe 8 even. And the highest you can get is, I think it's 13. So here we have 12. Strong, stupid. Let's do that. That sounds good. Then come to attributes. Yeah, again, this is attributes. This is something else. Now we need to create our backstory. We can either write one, or we can just click generate. We'll call the AI, say like this. We have a peasant. They are named Eric, and we get a backstory. Eric was born on the bruised sky, the 5th child of Elara and Bram, tenant farmers on Lord Elmsworth's sprawling wheat fields in the southern plains of Renthia. His birth was unremarkable, save for the unusual large size he possessed even as a babe. While his siblings were frail and often sickly, Eric thrived in growing rapidly into a boy of immense strength even for his age. It goes on explaining our character a little bit more and our background. We end on, apparently our father died, and then with his father gone, Eric is now the sole provider for his mother and younger siblings, forced to make difficult choices to keep them alive. The meager earnings from odd jobs are barely enough, and the constant threat of starvation hangs heavy in the air. Desperate, Eric seeks to work beyond the farm. His strength and unparalleled agility is his only real assets in a world that offers little else to a peasant like him. Now generate a description. Of course, you can also write your own and then click expand, and you should take that into account and expand on it. And we hear a description of how we look, a bit more of our personality, a description of our character. Now we click on skills. Here we get an overview. This should be on summary, and here it should automatically, based on your backstory and description, decide what skills do you have. For example, farming probably is the one that we have. We might have street smart, and you can be trained, or you can be is different proficiency levels. You have from 0, which is untrained. Everyone is untrained in everything, up to like the higher. I think level 4 is the highest, where you're a master of it. And the way it works, dice rolling works in this game is you have the AI will call for dice roll at any point, at which point it will say, all right, you need to, let's say you're trying to work on a farm with this character. It's heavy work. You have to push the plow through the dirt. It's dry and it's warm and heavy. So we'll ask for a farming roll with a brawn as a base attribute. So it will take brawn, which we have 7, which means we get 7 6-sided dice to roll. We then get an added die from being proficient in farming. I mean, let's say we are a master at farming. That means we get a d20. Then we roll all these dice. Any 6 we get is 1 success. I think on what did I decide on? On d20, if you get roll 20, you get like 6 and above is 1 success. I think 9 or above, or 8 or above is 2 successes. 12 or above is 3 successes, and a natural 20 is 4 successes automatically, on top of the ones you get from your dice. So if you're training something, you have a lot of an easier time to. Any 1 success is enough to succeed. If you roll 1 single success, that means you did it. You maybe didn't go as you planned, but you succeeded. Like, you got there in the end. Maybe some hardships along the way. If you instead roll 2 successes, you will be like, yeah, I mean, you did it, and according to plan. 3 would be, oh, outstanding, you did it. Not only that, you did it in half the time, maybe. And 4 would be something even beyond that. Something, a real feat. However, if you fail, if you don't get a single success, you can push your roll, meaning you re-roll all dice that are not a 1 or a 6. And if you do that and roll, any 1 will be a critical failure. They will increase, like, while you can still get, let's say you get 2 fails and 1 success, and then 2 dice that are just plain. That means, yes, you succeeded, but you have two bad things happening to you while you success. So yes, you succeed, but you, let's say you break an arm while you do it. You did it, but at the end of the day, you sprained an ankle, and also you have you got sick, for example. But what you also get is 2 fate points. And those fate points are stored on the character, and once you have, at any point in time, when you do a dice roll, you can spend 3 fate points to get an automatic success, like to automatically add 1+1 success to your results. That's kind of how it works. And then you have items as well. Should be happening here, though we don't get that now. We'll create character, and we should be I have a feeling maybe our fix didn't deploy properly. We haven't loaded our fix. Yes, now we have it. Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing. Generate a name. So living a peasant. We could just click generate all, and we'll just generate all of it. We'll call Cassian. We'll have another strong one, 13 points, sure. Here we have attributes, generate backstory. We'll wait for that, and we'll generate description. Born under bruised sky. Same parents this time around, apparently. Sure. I mean, that can happen. It's just like we're providing the AI with some basic knowledge of your character and the game, and asking it to come up with a backstory. Sometimes we will reuse things without our knowledge. Doesn't add anything there. Let's try this. Let's go generate all. I'm not really happy with that. We have instead Lyra, who is in the clergy. Failed to backstory, services unavailable. Interesting. Maybe we can. Oh, yeah, there we go. It just took a while. We have the wrong backstory. That's fine. We could go back to. I think it's been moved around in the wrong one here. Click generate. Get a new one. There we go. Proper. Now we also got an inventory. We got a holy symbol, a prayer book, a quill and inkpot, a small pouch of herbs, a gift from a grateful parishioner, apparently. And then we're level 5 in theology. I think this is a little bit high, considering level 4 is maximum. I'll have to tweak that. Then again, it's also like could just be the AI doing its thing. And let's see if this works now. It over scrolls, so we can't really hit the button, but we can just barely reach it. There we go. Welcome to the game screen. Let's see if this works. It should now, in the background, send a prompt to the AI to set the stage. Not sure it's doing that. We can take a look at the console maybe, see if we see any errors. Can't find the... Right. It says can't find the user, or the character for user. No, this. All right. I think might have some issues with the database there. We're connecting to the database, probably. Let's write just, I look around me. See what happens. Characters not found or not lost, not found for the user. That's a bug, but that's interesting to know. In here, you will have a character sheet. We actually see our character skills here. That's good. This didn't work before. The inventory doesn't work. But this works, which is new. First time ever. The dice mechanic here, this should not be visible now. This should pop up whenever the AI calls for dice roll. But you know, it's fine. We're learning. We need some settings and a map here as well. We don't have that either. Yeah, let's say we want to add the map. I'll figure the bugs out later. So I'll write to the AI on the game chat screen. I want to have a button. Right, so I have here a prompt. On the game chat screen, I want to have a button to open the map. On that map, I want to have coordinates of the character. If we have the coordinates of the character, or the player character, we should specify, otherwise it might be confused. I want to pin on it, or I should write them to show the player where they are. We have some coordinates in, and then I tag a file called gamelore.json, which is this file where we have a bunch of locations. And we send this off, and we'll see what the AI does. And now you get to see how the AI actually works. So it will say, I'll help you implement the map feature. First, let me check the gamelore data to understand its coordinate structure. Let me check one more file to find right, so it checks it again. Now it searches with the game chat screen. That's a different way of searching. Sometimes it does that. I don't know why. I see that the game interface in the game screen dart is in game screen dart. Let me add a map button and create a new map dialog. First, I'll create a new map dialog widget, and here I'll be able to tell it, because while yes, that's a good approach, we actually already have that. If we scroll down, if I look down here, I can find what is it, the map dialog. Oh no, hang on, the world map dialog, and I can point that out to it, and it can then instead use that one. First, we can take a look at it. We can open diff, and we'll see any changes it's made. We can see that it's added 82 lines. It's removed 0 because this is a new file. I'm actually probably going to approve all of this, and then I'm going to tell it about the world map dialog, and it can take the best of two worlds. I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it, but it's what we're going to do. Again, we can go through all the changes it makes. Now it's doing changes in the character state file. And to that, apparently I added 2 errors in another file that we'll have to go through later before we can deploy. It's now adding the button to the game screen. And if we look at that, we can check the changes it's making. Importing the package. Down here, it's adding the icon button and some other things. And then it asks me if if I would like to have any adjustments made to the implementation. And I will point out that we actually have a file called world. Let's see, where is it? World dialog is from an earlier attempt to implement this. See if there is anything there we can use. Otherwise, get rid of it. And this is basically how I've built all of this so far. And like as you can see here, there's thousands of lines of code right now. And this is how I've made it all. And then I will have to go through before I can deploy. Either I try to build and it will throw errors, or I go through all the different files that have marked errors, and I go through and tell, hey, on location here is underlined. Fix the issue. And we'll go through, fix the issue. Might take a couple of tries, and then eventually get it. And all of this is using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. You can also add images, as of last week, to through this tool called Windsurf. I actually tried first in a different, not using Flutter, which is the coding language I use here, but using something else, and in a different AI tool, Cursor. And I also have an add-on called Klein that is basically doing the same thing, but I can tell it to use any other model. I sometimes use that as a pair program and have it verify, have them verify each other's things. Oh, it actually wants to get rid of the one it created. Interesting. All right, sure, go for it. But yeah, this is what I'm doing instead of making content for you guys, unfortunately. But hopefully you'll find this exciting and want to try it out once it's a bit more, once it actually works. And I hope to have it working in early stages and testing phases by the end of the year. Should be doable. And the plan is kind of that. The plan is this: I want you to be able to try this out for free. So the game will use my default free API key, which has rate limits from Google. It can only be used X amount of times per day, per minute, and per day, per month before it will stop. Just throw errors. At which point I will say we have an error. Then you can either provide your own key to the settings, or you can use the paid key that I'll have, and for that you will have to then subscribe and pay. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Maybe $5 a month or something. And that's how I plan to do this. Basically, I want to have a. You will be able to try it out with providing the API key that the default free API that I have still has room. You will be able to try it out without even creating an account. That's the goal. After about 50 messages, it will say, "Hey, you need to create an account to keep going." But also, that's when we'll start being able to save to the database. You'll have your game saved on your account. You will be able to access the shared database of locations, events, NPCs, things like that. The shared lore that we'll create over time together. And essentially, there will be a paid tier to be able to access the game, even when I run out of API calls, or you can of course use your own. Because at that point, there's no cost to me other than hosting the site, which is very negligible. I think currently, as I'm building it, I am actually hosting it and paying for that, but it's something like 10 cents a month right now with the usage of only me going in, trying it out every now and then. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't expect this to blow up. I don't expect this to be something a lot of people try out. But I think it's a cool project. It's fun, and it's a cool way for me to see if this is even possible in the first place, which is very much seems to be right now, although I have a lot of work left to do. But yeah, I will still make normal game content. I just, at some point, as every now and then I'll need to take a break from this, at which point I'll go back to doing other stuff, and then come back to this. The goal is, of course, to see this through, because I kind of want to test myself. Like, can I actually not just is it technically possible? I think I've already proven to myself that yes, this is technically possible, but more, can I actually use it? Is it usable? Is it possible to play? It's possible for me to build something using AI as my coder and actually finish it. And along the way, of course, learn a lot of things that I have use for in future projects that I want to do, but also my day-to-day job. But yeah, currently I'm using Windsurf. I haven't previously, as I mentioned, used Klein. Klein you can use for free in any VS Code-based tool. Cursor costs $20 a month. Includes some 3.5 Sonnet and ChatGPT 4.0 access. Same thing with Windsurf, except it's cheaper and better. It's $10 a month and works a lot better than Cursor, at least in my experience. Klein is really good, but it's a lot clunkier to work with and has a tendency to sometimes replace 500 lines of code with rest of your code here. So you gotta be really careful when you use that. But it's really good as well and free. You can use, like, I've used the API key that the game is using. I've used with Klein to do some things. So yeah, I think it's a really cool project to do. It's not going to replace people. I feel like it's enabling more people to do more things at its current state. It's not going to replace people at its current state. Who knows where it goes, of course. But I mean, yeah, I think it's really cool. And I mean, if it enables more people, I would never have made this game at all, or let alone any game, if I didn't have this as an option. Because I mean, I'm never going to be able to write all of this code by myself. I know a lot of people do. And can, because that's what they're good at. I'm not. So for me, this is a perfect way to do this without having to learn it by myself, which I've always wanted to, but I also realized like it's not gonna happen. This is a perfect middle ground. I can still do it and dabble it and build a prototype, and then I mean, if this turns into something that people really vibe with, then of course we can. I mean, any help is welcome, and who knows if this turns out to be something that you can build a company on top of. I highly doubt that. The first thing I will do is hire a designer and a programmer to take my prototype and do something actually good with it. Something that's not built with AI, but actually built properly. Because I'm sure there's a lot of weird things in this code. That's like any programmer would look at this being like, why the hell would you do that? But hey, if it works, right? I think it's really cool. And if you want to try it out for yourself, I'll put a link in the description to the app itself so you can try it. But also if you want to try building something by yourself like this, which I highly recommend you do, although do keep in mind, like this, it's not just write a prompt, wait 5 minutes, and then you have a full app. That's not how it's going to work. For basic things, maybe. But it's going to be a lot of back and forth, and it's going to be a lot of work. But it's cool, it's fun, and you can do it. The fact that I've been able to create something like this, where you can actually create a character using AI, I have a functioning website. I mean, it's full of issues, and half the things I wanted to do doesn't work right now. But also, I just want to point out some of these things have worked. I have had a prototype of this where I was able to chat with the game. It didn't really have us, it wasn't cohesive. But I mean, even if I go to AI Studio, Google.com, if we go here and log in, I actually have a saved, I think somewhere in here I have a saved library. Yeah, here we go. Here I've tried this out using, I uploaded the lore novel. I've given it some instructions, and then I told it, this is my character. It created a character with me. And I said I head towards this place called the Whispering Woods that it made up. We get some descriptions. Oh, that's cool. What I do, I draw my knife, plunge it into this gaping mouth. And yeah, you scored this. It's technically possible. I tried it out like this first. The AI can be your dungeon master. That is technically possible. So obviously the next step is taking it from the AI playground here and turning it into an actual app and game with logic around the chat. That's what I'm building. Yeah, it's cool, it's fun. This is what I'm doing instead of making videos, unfortunately. But you'll get videos as well. It's just going to be less often as I'm working on this because this is too much fun. I can't put this down. That's how much fun it is to build. And I hope you will try it out when we get there, and that you will like it. Anyway, see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed my rambling, even though it's very rambling. Let me know if this sparks any ideas with you, the things that you would want to do, any ideas to put into the game, maybe. Any questions about how using AI for coding, anything like that, just drop it in the comments and we'll have a chat down there. This is very much just, I don't know. I felt I wanted to record something about this. This is really no pre-planning going into this video whatsoever. I'll try to edit it down a little bit, but enjoy, have fun. See you in the next one. Play more games and be creative. Love you. See you. Bye.